What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Tuner World. Over here we have a 2011 Toyota Highlander. This is going to be for most Toyotas. The problem that we're having is the cruise control button and the cruise control switch barely works. It sometimes comes on, sometimes it doesn't work at all, and sometimes you have to have the steering wheel at an exact angle for it to turn on. So obviously I kind of diagnosed that as a back clock spring, did some research online, and I confirmed that that's a common Toyota problem. So you can go get one of these off of like Amazon for like 20, 30 bucks. I know the dealer wanted $500 for the whole job. So here I am going to show you how to do it in under an hour. It's very easy as long as you have basic tools at home. I would say the hardest part will be probably if you don't have an impact for the steering wheel 19 millimeter, but we'll get to that when we get to that, okay? So as you can see here, new part, Phillips screwdriver, a T30 Torx for your airbag screws, a small little pick or a small flathead screwdriver for the airbag connectors, and then a ratchet and a inside panel plastic popper tool so you don't scratch anything up. And the first step we're gonna do is gonna come and disconnect your battery, all right? This is a very important step because you do not want your airbag to go off on you when you are doing this job, okay? So it's just a 10 millimeter, take the negative off, give it a few minutes to sit. I like tapping on the brakes so it just gets any juice that's stuck in the car out. And then let's head inside. And I'm gonna go grab a light to make it easier for you all. So now we're inside the car. And if you wanna come over here, our first step is gonna be taking the airbag off, all right? And all you're gonna do for that is, if you wanna show them right over here, there's a little cover right here. You take a panel popper, come right up front, and just, that's it. You're gonna take that out the way, and then your T30 is right over here. Can you see that on the camera? I actually have mine loose, guys. I wasn't gonna make this video, but once I found out how easy it was, I was like, I'll just do it. So T30 comes over here, crack it loose with your ratchet, spins out, and this doesn't come out all the way. It's actually on a little spring plastic clip. So I'll show you how to get right to that, okay? Second side is the same thing. You have this cover that goes around the cruise control switch. Same thing, right? Pop it off. You're gonna put it right off to the side. And now we can take the airbag off. So I just say grab up and down and kind of wiggle back, and it'll come off. If it doesn't come off, it's because if you see this right here, the screw still might be in there, so you can just grab that plastic piece like I'm doing in the back and pull it back, okay? So it's very simple. Once this is off, now you're gonna come and grab your pick, okay? Because these airbag connectors are actually supposed to be pushed in. Again, I had this off before I made this video just to show you all. I put it back together. You're gonna take a little pick and gently just pry up right over here, okay? You don't wanna go too much. That's all you need, okay? The airbag connectors come up just like that. And then you just gently grab one and wiggle it out. It doesn't matter which one. Just a little wiggle. Just had these out, let's see. There you go, that's one. And that's number two, okay? So be careful with them, don't break them. And then you have your ground for your horn. That's just gonna come right off like that. And you can put your airbag off to the side. Our next step is going to be taking off this connector right over here, which is actually for that cruise control switch I was telling you about. Remember how I told you that runs in the clock spring? That's how I figured that this was a clock spring issue. So we're going to squeeze that right there, pull that off. Now you can see you're going to have access to take off the whole steering wheel, okay? The only thing holding the steering wheel now is a 19 millimeter, okay? Now, it's very important now to make sure you know exactly how your steering wheel is. I have it as straight as possible. And then we're gonna take our 19, which I forgot over there. And we're just all right, guys, well, the video stopped recording while I was doing all this. I thought I was recording. So I apologize, but I'll just give you a quick update to how we got here. So I just zapped that middle bolt off. It was pretty straightforward. And what you wanna do after that is you grab the wheel. You wanna make sure the wheel's centered. You grab the wheel up and down, and it kind of just shakes off, okay? It's very straightforward. Nothing else holding it in. You don't need any steering wheel puller. After that, I kind of went over this clock spring and how you're supposed to kind of count the turns, just in case you get a used part or just in case your new part gets out of whack. So I kind of showed, let me get back in the middle. So half, 2, half. So usually it's like this, right? What I like doing is counting how many turns it takes to get to the left and then to the right. And then that way you know your central point and you know how to check it before putting it back on. So what I do is just, I'll go left first. So half, one, half, two, half. It's about 2 3/4 to the left, and I go back in the middle. Then we'll go to the right. So half, one, half, two, half. About 2 1/2 to the right. So it's about the same left and right. So just in case it gets out of whack, you know you can go all the way to the right and count 2 1/2 to get in the middle. So it's a little extra step, okay? What we did after that is you get these 2 screws holding in this cover right here. And it really sucks. I wish I showed you how to take this off, but it's not really rocket science, guys. So go all the way up. I'll just do it outside. So anyways, it's just like this, okay? Once you take the 2 screws off, all you do is I take my little panel popper. I just go in between here. Boom, boom, comes off. I make it go all the way up. I sneak this one out first. Then I bring the steering wheel down all the way. And then this one is actually on a clip right over here, if you want to show them the camera right there. So you just kind of lift up off that clip, this comes off, and now we are where we are. So I apologize I didn't show you in detail, but it's pretty straightforward. So let's get to it. The last step is going to be taking off the clock spring, which looks like it's just 1 connector here, maybe 2 connectors. So there's a connector right here, you squeeze, take off. It looks like this yellow one is also part of the thing. So another connector right over here, push up, pull back. And I'll show you that here in a second once I get it off. It's really a little tricky. Why is it being weird? This one's a little different. That one was weird. I don't even know how. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna know how I just took this. Oh, right here. I think I just like pushed back on this, and it came off. That's different. I've never seen a connector like that. Oh, I guess it slides back. It's like a slide connector. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, oh, I see it. Yeah, it slides back and it releases that clip. That's a first. Well, those 2 are connected off the clock spring, and the last piece is to get the clock spring off. Usually they're on by screws. This one actually just looks like it's kind of like clipped in here. If I can't figure it out in about 15 seconds, I'll go ahead and get... Alright guys, the stupid camera stopped again. I don't know why it keeps on stopping. I actually just figured out how to do this myself. So there's no screws here. I'm going to put this back in for you guys. By the way, there's a 3rd connector right here. So that one goes right here. And it was just a squeeze type to take that one off. But here. I was just kind of messing with it. And I was like, where are the screws at? But realistically, there is no screws. All you do is kind of pry up here. 1. There's a second one right here, pry up, down, 2, and right here, 3. And it comes off that easy. All right, so let's go ahead and compare the old one to the new one. There's also a button here, so make sure you're not pressing that button. That stops recording too, so maybe that's what, who knows. So, like I said, the new one was the old one. Again, looks like, obviously it's probably like a Chinese part, this one is, but aside from that, looks, oh, wait a minute. This one doesn't have this piece. So does that mean you have to transfer that over? Looks so. It looks like we have to transfer this piece over. This is a Toyota sensor steering. Well, I hope that's not for the cruise control, because if that's the case, we've got a whole sensor steering. Maybe that's for the electronic steering, because I know this car is electronic steering, but well, hopefully that's just for the electronic steering, because if that's for the cruise control switch, that wouldn't be good. So anywho, looks like we have 4 screws holding this one in place. Let's see if this has 4 screw holes. No, this one doesn't have 4 screw holes, so maybe that's not those screws. Maybe all we gotta do is just pry it off. Oh yeah, I see it. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you just gotta lift up on those and it should just come right off. Seems to be. 1, 2. Let me go grab that panel popper tool. Alright. Let's get over here. 3 and 4. There you go. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I don't know what this is for, but now I want to make sure I count it. So half, 1, half, 2, half, 3, half, 4, half, 5. So maybe it doesn't have a 1, 2, maybe it doesn't have a 3, 4 limit. 4, 5. So whatever, we're just gonna put this one right in how we took it off. Again, it must be for the electronic steering. If I had to take a guess, let me know in the comments below if you know what this is for. This is the part number 89245-02050. It just says sensor steering, Toyota Panasonic parts. But you can see, you can line it up right there. Clips into the new part, so easily transferable. We're gonna keep this on right now. We're gonna take that off once the installation is done. So let's go back in the car and we're gonna reverse the steps. So let's go ahead and we could plug this little sensor steering thing back in. Boom. Gonna put this through the middle. Clips right in. Very nice. Then we're gonna put the plastic piece back on. So we'll put the top one back in first. Realistically, you guys don't have to take this off all the way. As you see, it just gives you more room to work with. So right there, I'm gonna clip that back in place. Clipped on. Oh, it should have been clipped on. Okay. And then the bottom one. So we're gonna lift this up. Sorry, it's gonna go this way. There you go. Then this is going to go right over the ignition. You just got to kind of wiggle it around until it gets there. Make sure your wires aren't hidden or nothing. Oh yeah, sorry. Speaking of wires, just plug these back in. So they should just clip right back into the spots. So we got this one. There you go. 1 and 2, and I actually felt on that yellow one, I felt like a spring coming back at me, so definitely just make sure that's pushed in all the way. Now we can put this back on. Just gonna be a little bit wiggling. There's some extra wires I had back there from remote start install, so there you have it. Boom. Just make sure everything's clipped in nicely. All feels good. Put our screws back in. And then we're ready to take off our little centering clip that Amazon seller was nice enough, or this part was nice enough to come with, because then we don't have to worry about recentering the clock spring. Okay, so now I can take this off. I wonder if we could put that back on. Nah, probably not. I should just be able to. This breaks off, or what's happening here? Let's pulls right out. And then we're gonna put the steering wheel back on. Make sure your airbag connectors go over like that. Find the gear. There you go. And again, right, worst case scenario for one tooth off, no big deal. You could just take off the wheel later on and fix it. But I remember it being like that when I took it off. And we're just gonna put everything back in, guys. As far as this bolt, it's always good to retorque things. I don't know what this. All right, so 37 foot-pounds seems to be the torque spec for this, just from what I read online. So as long as you can get close to that. So that seems about right. 37 foot-pounds, that's on there. Nothing to worry about. And again, it's pretty much our last steps, guys. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the airbag back on. So again, just be careful with your connectors. Well, I guess before we do that, let's put this connector back on. The ground for your horn, which is down here. Then orange. Let's see, lift this up a little bit more. There you go. Squeeze that back down. And then these look like, honestly, these look like new connectors. So even if you break the old connectors, I think it'll be okay because I didn't realize the new clock springs come with the new connector from what it's looking like. Boom. So that's all good. Now we're just gonna line up the bolts on the side, the T30 bolts with these. Double check everything. Look, was there a connector right there? I don't remember, was there? Do you remember if there's a connector right over here I took off? No, right? Well, if there is and I forgot about it, oops, hopefully the airbag doesn't go off. Right. There you go. Before I tighten that one all the way, I'm gonna make sure you have to record this one. But I always like getting both of them started before you tighten anything down. So now what I'll do is I'll just tighten this one down real quick. You don't gotta go crazy on it, guys. Just do like a 1-finger torque. That's it. Don't go too tight. Just feel it out. Don't be the person to strip it out. And obviously it's always good to test before putting these covers back on, but I just kind of want to get the accomplishment of feeling like I got the job done. So I'm gonna put that back on. This back on. What you're gonna do is just put this back in first. Back part goes in first, and the front just kind of clips in. There you go. Let's go ahead and plug, what was that? The light? Battery's back in. Let's test it out real quick. So the horn should work now. Good. You got the keys? And then, now when we press the cruise control button, look at that. I got it. Back in action. So cruise control is working again. Before, when you press the cruise control button, it wouldn't turn on. So there you go. I was right about it. All I needed was a clock spring. That was what, 30 bucks? I didn't think I paid 30 bucks. Oh, like I said, guys, I put the link in the description. It's like 20, 30 bucks for that clock spring you see in the video. Probably like a 30-minute job, start to finish, as long as you got the right tools. So there you have it. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Come check out all this stuff. We got dirt bike stuff, race car stuff. The Grand National build we just posted on the channel as well. And thank you all for watching. Until next time. Peace.